clarifications really more than anything else. On the water increase, that in and of itself has nothing to do with growth of the city, with additional utilities needed. That has everything to do with the actual cost of providing the clean water. And the materials that are involved, as they've gone up in cost to the city over the years, there's not been any rate adjustments to absorb that over the years. And so if you took a look at the rates over the last, I believe it's 9 years, and I'm willing to be corrected if I'm wrong, but over the last 9 years, there weren't any increases, while those cost of materials to actually produce the water in any gallons has been going up. And so the 11% increase over the next 3 years is meant to get the actual cost of what it takes to supply the water per gallon, regardless of how many gallons are produced, up to current rates of what the cost to produce that water is. So from a paying for growth basis, that water rate increase doesn't have anything to do with growth, paying for growth.
All of us have been impacted by fuel. The increase of gasoline, diesel, and electric. That is something that this council and our management cannot control. The majority of that increase, just like you see your fuel cost double and your electric go up dramatically, our facilities that clean our water and process the sewer water use massive amounts of fuel and electricity. That's the impact. Like my fellow council member said, that's the main impact. I would also like to talk about the car washes. I can tell you that I have the same frustrations. I live here too, but I'm even more frustrated than you are because of the knowledge I have at sitting in many hours of meetings with the planners of trying to plan our city with what we need as a community when it comes to commercial needs. There are things that we need to have here so we don't have to cross the bridge. So it's very frustrating when I see a commercial property used for another car wash. But this is America. And just like someone mentioned, you know, I have 6 children and they want to live in Cape Coral. And I can't stop them or someone else from saying, I own a residential property and I want to build a home. I can't stop them. And it's the same thing with people that have commercial properties. They have rights. So what needs to happen is the market is going to decide what car washes stay and which ones fail. And hopefully it works out that some will not be successful and they will be turned into things that are needs in our community.
As it relates to the pickleball court, if it's being pulled, I'm sure this will come up under discussion. That project did not come in at a $900,000 cost over and above what was thought. We're not starting out at a $900,000 deficit. And the thought of a pro forma being provided to us, there were pro formas brought to us based on the 3 different options of the different rates being applied. And the option B that was chosen was the one that brings us to the most revenue neutral position of the 3 that were provided based on revenue streams and expenses. So I'm sure that'll be brought up during if the item is being pulled, but I wanted to make sure that that was brought up.
I've been working on this as a councilman. Started working on it 4 years ago, had many meetings with Lee Health, and Lee Health has made major investments in our city. They bought multiple properties on Pine Island Road for expansion. They bought the property next to Lowe's on Veterans Parkway. They did a very large addition on their Surfside facility. They did a large addition on the hospital, and they also are building, as we speak, a location downtown that's part of the Bimini project. And I believe about a third of that project is for medical. And from what I hear, it's going to be a cardiac facility. So we do know the needs of the city. Our council people and city staff work on this diligently because we have the same thought. We live here too. We see what you see, and it's frustrating. But there are laws we have to abide by. When it comes to the trash, I can tell you, we have the same feelings up here. I drive around, and you can ask our city manager. I call him up, and I go, you should see what I'm seeing over here. Something needs to be done. We are constantly addressing these problems that you guys see around the city, and we are making changes in codes. And one just happened recently with new construction on how their trash is handled, and that was just recently a change made. So we are actively looking at these problems. Impacts to neighborhoods. I had a gentleman come up talking about that we have to care about the impacts. And that's correct, but we have to look at the city as a whole. This great project that we heard earlier today that is going to bring us something that everyone in the city wants for our community, instead of going over the bridge. And I don't want to mention where my family goes on the other side of the bridge, but this project's going to mimic that place that we frequent, and I won't have to go over the bridge anymore. And so it's going to be a tremendous asset. Is there going to be an impact to the people that live close to it? Yes. There's going to be an impact. They're going to live next to this big, facility that is a destination in our city. And all of us, as the city grows, we're going to have some kind of impact in our neighborhoods. But it's for the benefit of all of us collectively together. So I just want you to know that in our decision making, these are the things that we have to work through. And we constantly have to look at the benefit for everyone as a whole. Thank you.